Oh yeah, I have been super excited about this one and waiting for this for a while now. I had my in-laws, I had my parents, I had friends, and even one of my employees hunting this down for me. I've never put so much effort and resources into finding one bottle. So was it worth it? We're about to find out. Let's go. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways Plus. I'm Doc Martinez and I am pumped today. I'm extremely pumped. As you can see, I got myself a bottle of the Still Austin Tanager. If you're looking this up, look how beautiful that is. And as you can see, I've already had a little bit of this one. I did pop this open on my last live, and I normally wait to pop open the bottles when I do the review, but I couldn't wait once I got my hands on this and I was doing a live and I wanted to share it, so I had to pop it open that day. So let me pour this out and then we'll talk a little bit about this bourbon. Make sure to give myself a nice good pour of this. All right. I'm super excited about this for multiple reasons. One, it's the newest premier Still Austin release, and I do love myself some Still Austin. Two, head distiller John Schreppel is doing some unique things here in Texas, and this is just one of his newest creations. And he did this with master blender Nancy Fraley, working for years on this cigar blend. Now, she's what I like to call mother of cigar blend, and had a major part from start to finish on this one. She was able to bring back her background and expertise from her history in cognac cigar blends and make this whiskey cigar blend the way she wanted. When two masters and experts of their craft collaborate and make a dream project come together, how can you not be excited? This is what Still Austin has to say about it. It's old world meets Texas ingenuity. Made from a combination of red, white, and blue corn bourbon, along with rye and malted barley used as small grains. The whiskey has been aged for at least 5 years and was hand selected for the most exceptional qualities by our master blender, Nancy Fraley, and head distiller, John Schreppel. This created our most premium offering to date. Nancy and John combined our finest 6-year-old high rye bourbon with pure Texas water and aged it to at least 50 proof for at least 1 year before adding it to the base whiskey and final proofing. This ancient blending technique, known as petit heure, small waters, has been used for centuries in Cognac and Armagnac regions of France. Petit heure creates a rich and complex flavor profile, adding more caramelized wood sugars and length to the palate of the final product. For Tanager, the result is a cigar blend whiskey with a remarkable sweet and soft finish. I wanted to say that the petit heure is adding whiskey to water and not the other way around, and letting that age in a barrel even longer. Nancy brought this from her cognac background and used all her knowledge and expertise to make this cigar blend. Now, looking at this bottle and this box and the design, it took them over a year to come up with this. Now, there is a great video by Still Austin about this and how they did this. So I will leave a link for that below, because if I just start talking about that, that could be a whole other video on itself and I'll make this video way too long. But as you saw, I was showing some of the B-roll to highlight this box, to highlight this bottle, and to show that. So I'll show a little bit more as we're discussing the bottle details. But before we get into the bottle details, remember, anytime I do a review, I'll be giving away some samples. So make sure to stay tuned to find out how you can win a sample of this. Bottle details. Still Austin Tanager Cigar Blend. Classification: cigar blended bourbon whiskey. Distillery: Still Austin. Release date: December 2024. Proof: 106 proof, making it 53% ABV. Age: at least 5 years. Finish: no finish. Mashbill: 30% white corn bourbon, 27% red corn bourbon, and 60% blue corn bourbon. MSRP: $150. Anytime I do a review, I do a scoring of 1 to 10 on aroma, flavors, complexity, mouthfeel, finish, and would I buy again. All right, time to get into the fun part. Time to taste, look, smell, and enjoy this one. Now, looking at this, it's hard to see. I don't know if you can see it through camera, but this is red, red, red. It is a nice dark red for something that's only aged 5 years. It's got some good quality color to it. It sticks to this glass very, very well. Look at that. Not even making legs yet. Where are they at? They're just starting to come. So yeah, very, very good on the eye. So let's go in. Aroma. Oh my goodness. So There's a lot of sweetness to this up front. Very, very rich. Fruit notes, cherry, candy. Ooh, that could be like those dark candied cherries, like when you get a cherry. And I actually just had some of those recently. I never even really liked those. And I got one when I was out in Ohio, and man, that was one of the best candies I've ever had. There's some honey to this, a lot of sweetness. So at the proof, at 106 proof, it doesn't come across the nose very strong. It's very nice. It allows you to smell the complexity of this. Now, I like to drink a lot of my bourbons at a higher proof, but this one seems to be hitting the right spot. It's just so candied and sweet. I just can't stop smelling it. This was probably one of the best noses I've had. I'm gonna start this off with an 8. So next, let's go in for flavors. Just like the other day, I did mention that sweetness and all that, I don't smell any spiciness on the nose. But when it hits you, that first taste is a little bit spicy up front, but it covers the palate very well. There's notes like it's a spice, like a pepper spice. There's a little bit of drying on the tongue with that first taste. It coats pretty much the whole tongue, which I love when they do that, because that just means it's gonna linger and stay there, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. There's a cherry to it, there's a dark chocolate to it, there's a little bit of tobacco to it, and that's a lot to taste on the first sip. And this is my first sip of the day as well. So for flavors, because that spiciness kind of just hits you a little bit before you don't expect it, because that's not what you get on the nose. For that reason, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Complexity, how does this evolve? And I like this second one because a lot of times this is where you're gonna get all those extra flavors that you didn't taste the first time. Your tongue's acclimated to that spiciness, so you'll have a lot more of that flavor coming through. See, a lot of that spiciness is not there anymore. It's still a little bit of spice. You get more of that darkness in there, that dark chocolate, the cherries. You do have fruit notes in there, kind of like a stone fruit. The other day, I think I mentioned peach. RJ mentioned apricot. I'm going to agree with him more. It's more of an apricot, but a very little hint of that. It gets dark and rich. There's a lot of richness in here. So it goes from that spicy to that sweet to the dark richness. And that's where you're kind of getting that tobacco note in there, a little bit of leather in there as well. There is some nuttiness in here. You get that like almond walnut kind of mixture in here. Like if you went and grab a hand of mixed nuts and you put that in there and you chew it up and then you swallow it, and then a little bit later you kind of still have that little bit of flavor. That's what stays in your mouth at this time. Whew, there's a lot going on with this. There's a lot that goes through with this, and I mean, you can see how much love and detail went into this. For that, I'm gonna give that an 8.5. All right, now mouthfeel, thickness and viscosity. I've kind of discussed that a little bit already, but let's go ahead and have a drink so I can discuss it a little bit more. Every drink, this covers that palate, nice thick velvet, just covers that tongue so nicely. And as I say, it goes from front to back, the roof of my mouth. I'm salivating even more. There's a lot of nice thickness and viscosity sticking to the glass as well. Wow, I really like this mouthfeel. I like the way it stays, and I like the way it just covers that tongue. So I'm gonna give that an 8. Finish, how long does this stay? So let's go for another drink. The things I do for reviews. Each taste just gets more buttery and more texture and just along that tongue. As I said, as this coats, it's a very thick, oily on that tongue. It holds there. You get that candied, like I said, like a dark chocolate covered cherry. So you get a little bit of tannic there. You get a little bit of that softness and that butter on that tongue. You get, you know, a little bit of that age and oakiness, roasted nuts. There's just so much going on there, and it's still on my tongue. And it's not like it's a hint on my tongue. It's on my tongue. This just has so much to it, and I really like it. And what you're supposed to do is, you know, a cigar blend is not so much that it tastes like a cigar, even though you do get some tobacco notes in this. A cigar blend is to complement a cigar, right? So we'll talk about that again in a little while. But on this, the finish, it's still there. I still taste it. I'm getting a Texas hug. I'm giving that a 9. Would I buy again? Would I buy again? This is a $150 bottle, and I think it's worth every penny of that. RJ and I were talking about this the other day, and I said I would pay up to $200 for this, and I definitely would. Drinking it again, having it again. I actually had it last night with the cigar. Yeah, 200. I actually jumped up to probably 225, 222. Let's say 222, right? I definitely paid for this. It's a good pour, and I am so glad I do have this bottle. As you can see, I've shared a lot, had some, given some away, given some samples out to some of my friends who were not lucky enough to get it. So would I buy again? Yes, and I have. I'm lucky enough to have an extra bottle. So yes, definitely buy again, and I give that. The only reason I'm gonna kind of lower it a little bit is because how it was 600 released at the distillery, I think 400 released to the rest of the nation, and I don't think you'll be able to grab it anywhere now. I think it's all sold out, and that kind of sucks, but I'm glad I was able to grab some. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 6.5. Wow, wow, wow. So you know what? I'm gonna give myself a little bit of pour as we talk about the end of this here, you know. Definitely a very good pour. So my total score for this is 47.5 out of 60. I hope I added that right. That's probably one of my highest scores I've ever given. I'm gonna have to go look back. Now, I am a Still Austin fan, a little bit of bias towards Nancy Fraley as well, but this thing just knocks it out of the park. Now, I paid for this bottle. I did buy this bottle. There's a lot of reviews out there, and a lot of them are showing that knock out of the park. So it's not just me. I really do enjoy this pour. If you manage to get the bottle at the distillery, they actually had somebody there rolling cigars, and I managed to get 2 cigars as well. So last night I actually had a pour of this, smoked it with a cigar. So I don't smoke a cigar very often, once every 3-4 months. But wow, did this pair? This paired up so well that that's what the cigar blend's supposed to do. You know, there's no definition of a cigar blend. Nancy Fraley came up with it. That's why I call her mother of cigar blends. But it's supposed to pair well with it. And you want something that has a lot of complexity, a lot of flavor to it. And as Jeremy Sayer said, you know, you want some sweetness to match up with the cigar. And this just hit it perfectly. A lot of times I only smoke half a cigar. I actually smoked a lot more than the half last night just because it just kept hitting well. And the reason I actually stopped is because I didn't pour myself a big enough drink when I was smoking it that I figured, oh, good time to stop. All right. After all that talk, let's talk about how you can win a sample. If you have not, you know, please go hit that like button. If this deserves a like, go hit that like button. Also, please subscribe if you haven't. I have a lot of things coming up, a lot of videos, a lot of drinks, a lot of fun stuff. And when I hit 2,222 subs, we're going to do a huge giveaway as well. And we're getting closer to that every day, right? In the comments below, I also want you to tell me, what is your favorite cigar blend? Now, I did a cigar blend blind not that long ago, and I would love to do another one. I'm probably going to think about doing another one with this. It's just so much fun. But I want to know, what was your favorite cigar blend? And maybe if I do that, I could actually add yours to it as well. Also in the comments below, please add hashtag mother of cigar blends. Hashtag mother of cigar blends. Now, that's what I call her. It's not a thing yet, but maybe we can make it a thing, right? Well, my friends, thank you for joining me on another journey down my whiskey rabbit hole. This is a great journey. This is why we do it, to enjoy things like this. To our next journey, my friends. Cheers.